Hey guys, the Voyages of Volatility reset, and normally they are quite a walk in the park, but these ones were actually really difficult. I did barely even beat them. So let's go over all of these stages together real quick, starting off with battle number 1, the battle on the very left hand side, and this one is the craziest one out of all of them. So what this is all about is this boss, this red-haired lady, she stacks a buff on herself that makes her stronger. She gains stacks every single turn, and the more stacks she gains, the stronger she becomes. You can't dispel this, so you cannot cheese this fight with a character that would remove buffs, like for example Pickles. The only way you would be, in theory, able to dispel these stacks, at least a few stacks of these buffs, would be to kill an ad. That is not very possible though, because these ads, they have a lot of HP and they take quite a punch, so you can't just kill them over and over and over again to remove these stacks that she gets of her buff. And additionally, there's one ad, the guy, actually, the one on the very left hand side. He applies a plethora of very strong debuffs to your team. So you would need to dispel these debuffs. You can see this on my team. There are a lot of debuffs, and Fatutu is really doing her best here, trying to dispel all those debuffs. You need Fatutu here, otherwise these debuffs, they get completely out of control. And even with that though, even with Fatutu, like you will see that these enemies, they, especially when the boss is at 30 stacks, but already you see the damage that they do is tremendous. You know, if the by far best healer in the game with Fatutu, and I have a P5 Lucy and I struggle here, like Fatutu honestly barely managed to keep me alive here. And if she can't keep me alive, nothing can keep me alive. You know how this goes. So actually ridiculous, and honestly I can't even tell you exactly what the strat here would be, except for bring beast afflatus characters, because they deal increased damage against plant, and then maybe you would be able to actually finish this battle quick enough by focusing the bots. Maybe you can kill the ads quick enough. I doubt it though. Like my P5 Lucy here doesn't deal enough damage to accomplish that. How would like an Anionala or something at P1, P0 do that? It's not gonna happen. So yeah, really all that I can tell you about how to approach this battle is to focus the boss, to deal as much damage as you somehow possibly can, but you also need to dispel debuffs, and you need to save yourselves from an absurd amount of damage income, you know? Like my Fatutu goes completely nuts here, constantly dispelling these debuffs, constantly healing me to full HP, and these enemies blast me down and I almost still die. So yeah, there's really nothing you can do against this craziness other than like keeping yourself alive somehow and deal as much damage as you possibly can. You want to end this battle as fast as you possibly can. You know, and the boss is right now not even at 30 stacks. So she's not even at her maximum yet. There she goes, right? Now, while I focus the boss, the ads die and I dispel some of those stacks here and there. You know, she's still at 25, not at her maximum potential. And my Lucy is almost dead. You see my team? This is how much damage they do in one turn. With Fatutu's buffs, with Fatutu's cleansing and everything, you know. I even have DK to add a little bit more heal here. Of course, I don't use the best team here because I need to save some characters for the further stages, you know. As I need Fatutu already here and Lucy, right? Because otherwise I can't take them down. You see, they get shields and stuff. They take a whole bunch of damage and they shield themselves. So, like, it would really seriously interests me tell me please in the comment section down below your experience with this fight. Like, there are not, you know, the only mechanic that is happening here is they apply debuffs to me and the boss stacks this buff that I can't do anything about. So how did you beat this battle on hard difficulty and fully cleared it out? And if so, then how did you do that? Did you use Jay, Anionala and Mrs. Bubble and Fatutu, or what was your team? How did you approach this battle? And did you actually manage to take this battle down? Because it took me here to, you can see, turn 15, and then I was able to beat the boss and then the battle ends, you know, and that's because of my P5 Lucy. But yeah, then again, like, that was pretty tough considering I used both Lucy and Fatutu in this fight and I almost died. Let me know how did you approach this battle and how was your experience with this battle, please in the comment section down below. I'm very curious. The battle after that is much more easy, but you also are required here to do something very specific. So yeah, first of all, in the first round you can't gain any Moxie with any character. That's already something that you can keep in mind. Then you see me using Sotheby because poison is pretty effective here. But the main thing you have to know is that whenever you attack this boss, you can see he gains a debuff, right? He has one stack of this debuff next to my poison stacks, and yeah, this will remain at one stack forever. So when you attack him the first time, after that he takes 100% increased damage. Sorry, Semmelweis is talking. She's interrupting me. Semmelweis, watch your behavior, please. Anyways, after you attack this opponent once, you will apply this debuff and he will take 100% increased damage from follow-up attacks. That's why you use your follow-up attack here, right? With, yeah, you can't use Fatutu because you need Fatutu for the first battle. So you use characters like Flutterpage is the best character to use, the second best character to use here. If you can add Giu and Pickles to the mix, that would be the most effective strategy possible because they are from the Mineral Afflators. Giu is from the Mineral Afflators. She excels at using extra actions, same for Pickles. And your opponent is from the Beast Afflators, and therefore you would deal a whole bunch more damage if you use Mineral Afflators characters that excel at using extra actions. I don't have Giu, so I approach this battle with my usual follow-up team, and since I can't use Fatutu, I put in Sotheby because of poison. And then, yeah, this battle is quite easy. You can see he gains an additional buff, so every time you attack him, or every time he uses an action actually, he gains max HP +1, but that's pretty irrelevant. There's nothing you can do against that anyways. Attack him once and then, yeah, build an onslaught of follow-up attacks after follow-up attacks after follow-up attacks with Liang, with 37, with Flutterpage, with Pickles, with Giu. And then you're gonna take him down and you actually gonna be fine. It took me a while, I think turn 13 or something. Yeah, in turn 13 I took him down, even though I used the follow-up team. Now, of course, I can't use Fatutu, so yeah, the synergy here is a little bit broken, but still, this is a very strong and very good team. I just did a showcase for it, and this battle still took me like 13-14 turns here, which is pretty crazy to think about, considering we are talking about the Voyages of Volatility here, that are usually a walk in the park, but not this time. But yeah, here, right? Use extra actions, use follow-up attacks, follow-up attack team. Giu and Pickles are the best characters here. Then we have battle number 3. Here, of course, you have to focus the boss, the lady in the front. And the gimmick of this battle is that she will apply a debuff to you, and this debuff will stack further and further and further. So you would either have to dispel this debuff manually with characters like the character 6, or all of those stacks that you would gather, they would also dispel automatically whenever you would use an ultimate. So keep an eye on which character has how many of those stacks, and try to ensure that you, again, either dispel this buff manually or you get to use an ultimate with this character really fast, because you will have to get rid of this debuff. What this debuff does is it stacks, first of all, and every time you use an action, you deal damage back to yourself. It's Genesis damage, and the more stacks of this debuff you have, the more Genesis damage you would deal to yourself. So yeah, bring characters that can dispel debuffs. Don't forget that you need Fatutu, probably, most likely, for the battle number 1. And that's gonna be about it. Now, these enemies, they don't deal a whole bunch of damage. They do not take a whole bunch of damage either. So now I took mineral afflatus characters to this battle, which is not very smart to do, because my opponents here are from the star afflatus and they deal more damage to me, but I have no other characters available, so I had to use those. If you bring plant afflatus characters here, this battle should honestly prove to be a walk in the park. Just keep in mind that you dispel this debuff that she stacks every single turn on one of your characters. But yeah, you can then gather Moxie and use an ultimate to dispel this debuff, you know. This is a rather easy battle. This is the easiest battle out of those 3, easily. So yeah, you will be fine here. And that's about it, guys. Those were the 3 battles in these Voyages of Volatility. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope that was fun and informative. If you like Reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate that. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.